Hello, everyone. Welcome to Wong Chat, where I get to talk to my friends, guests from different industry, gaming, cosplay, a lot of cosplay guests, and gaming. Oh, sometimes other stuff too, like photography. Like tomorrow, I have someone that's both. They're a photographer and also from the cosplay world. So that's gonna be fun. But tonight we do have HendoArt, a good friend of mine that I know for many years. How many years is many years? I don't even know. 5 plus? It's been a while. But yeah, so I met her in the cosplay world. She does amazing cosplay, but she also know lots of other stuff, psychology stuff. In fact, she was just talking about it earlier before this stream. So you know, I'll let her describe herself. It'll be easier that way because I really don't know exactly what she is. So, what's up, Hendo?
How's it going, man?
I don't even know what to. I was like, yeah, she does things and other things. Yeah, hold on. I think I accidentally muted you. You know, Streamlab has been like very tricky for me for a while. Like I don't know. It's just maybe they need to update it or something. It's been messy for me.
I don't know. I feel like it's a little weird every time. I know it's picking up my mic because I can see it.
Yeah, now, no, you're fine. It's on my end. I pressed one button, I tried to increase your volume, but then it went straight to 0%. But you were a little bit quieter, but I think that's just, on your mic, and I already have it on max, so.
Do you want me to make it louder? I can increase my output volume.
Yeah, even though it's just a little bit, so people can hear you better. I'm sure when I upload this on YouTube, I'm also going to fix your volume a bit anyway.
Is this better?
It's about the same, I think.
Oh.
What mic are you using?
Like 60 to 80.
What mic are you using?
Yeti, Bluetooth, blue Yeti, blue thing.
I think the pain is that like with all the mic, I learned that because it took me a while to learn this process. I have to like speak into a mic like this, like very close.
I can bring it close.
You don't have to, but I'm just How far is this mic? You look like you have it like in a different room.
It's about an arm's length away from me.
This is much better too. It's actually a little bit better.
Ooh,
yeah.
Okay. Hello. Welcome.
Hello. How do you keep up with your hair currently? Are you actually doing like? Do you have to dye your own hair, or are you just letting it grow out?
My hair was silver, but now it's purple because that blends with the roots better. It's a little bit coming out, but that's okay.
Dude, I saw Yaya Han with her hair, which are growing out of her roots. It looks amazing. Like the gradients actually look really good. Yeah.
What color is her hair?
Purple as well. Yeah.
Purple? Yeah. So. It like blends with the roots better, that color. But the front, you can see the silver coming through because it's like the oiliest part of your hair.
Yeah. No, I used to dye my hair, but I don't think I can ever get to what you have. It'll take
you
a lot.
Sammy, my lady, my fairy.
Everyone has a person, and I don't know. I mean, Stella has one too. She told me to go to some lady that I have no idea who she is, but yeah.
Yeah. She's great. She specializes in like Asian hair.
Ooh. That is a difference that people do not know, because I know that some, not anymore, but I used to use a shampoo or a conditioner that are made for Asian hair. It's actually from Asia. It's a Japanese product. It's actually made my hair a lot better. But definitely not the secret to my hair. It's just it was better when I was using it, but once I'm not using it, I'm still like now, so it's not bad. Like,
I think that Asian hair is just like notoriously like thick and healthy. I'm only half Asian, so I have a great blend of like, Sammy was like, oh man, your hair's really healthy, but also it's thinner, so it's easier to dye. It's like you have the best of both worlds. So it's like I'm glad I at least rolled high on my hair stats.
I have a lot of good stats, like for if I was more of a cosplayer, especially if I was a girl. A lot of desirable traits apparently. Like, did you see my photo of me for April Fools?
Yeah. You have very defined calves.
People keep talking about my legs. I'm like, God damn it.
Asian thing. My mom, same way. I feel like I have decent calves for how much I don't actually use them.
The other day I went to like the
legs also, right?
I did. I did both. I shaved my legs and I also Photoshop it more.
Oh, okay.
Because
I haven't shaved my legs in like 2 years.
That's wait, what?
Yeah, I'm not particularly hairy.
That would make life so much easier. Like, I have really hairy legs, so for me to actually you know.
Well, you're a fella, so I think that's normal.
Oh, that's yeah. Society norm is so great. Like I don't have to. I mean, I have right now, but normally I don't do makeup. I don't have to do anything. And I don't even do my hair. I wake up and this is me. So
That must be nice.
yeah. Oh, definitely great. But I was
Yeah.
saying, if I was a girl, which there's a stupid like kind of like not saying, but like a thinking that they have is that if my mom were to have a second kid, it's
Mhm.
gonna be like she's gonna be a girl because I look feminine apparently. So I don't know. That's the thing. That's a
Feminine.
weird. Like I mean, that's like either a Chinese thing or like a I don't know. Like that's what my parents said. Like and her friends also said so too. It's like because I look more feminine, so the next child is gonna be most likely a girl. So
What if the girl just looks masculine?
then maybe they're gonna have a boy. I don't know. So you know what? This is not pure science. I don't think there's exact science for this.
Wait, so you don't have any siblings? Was it like boring growing
No.
up that way?
No, I actually decided to be only child.
What?
Well, this not really decision. It's not really like it's not like it's not like I have a sister and go like, sorry, there can only be one, you know. But no, like because my parents actually asked me when I was younger if I want any younger brother or sister, and I was like, nah, because I get to travel with my parents. I have all the toys, you know, I have everything all to myself. I'm like, I did the math, like, if I have a little brother and sister, I have to share everything. I'm like, nah, I'm good on that.
You don't like sharing? Wow.
No. I mean, now I do, but back then, no. Sharing is, as a kid, I'm more selfish as a kid, you know. It's like, I want everything to myself.
you ever,
Naturally
like-
so.
Do you wish you had a sibling though?
Now
that you're
growing
older?
up, yeah, kind of. But, you know, it's okay. I just find other people and adopt them as siblings.
That's also fair. I know a lot of like only kids that do that. I always wanted an older brother, but I got a younger sister. Some bullshit. Oh shit! Wait, am I allowed to swear?
Oh, it's okay. Yeah, my stream and my podcast is labeled as explicit anyway.
Oh, okay, sweet.
Yeah.
Never mind then. Sorry.
So normally I don't like when I stream normally, I naturally just censor myself like completely. I'm just used to it because
Smart.
like I was in RA, so everything have to be very PC, have to be very just non-cussing. Everything has to be politically correct and very diverse. It was man.
IRAs fucking swore all up and down that stuff. I feel like that's the easiest way to stop a fight.
So it's kind of a weird thing too because while I don't cuss and whatever, I do also drink with my residents. So that's
Oh yeah, I feel like every RA I know, that's what they did with the alcohol they confiscated. They'd be like,
Oh,
"Listen, settle down. Everybody have a nice drink, okay? It's gonna be fine. This is not that serious."
I feel like
right?
I walk in and do like I feel like those like bad cops back in days. Like, it'd be a shame if someone were to shut down this party. If only there's some liquor in my mouth to soothe that idea.
Did you ever like dorm with like roommates?
Yeah, like my first year I had like with me as an RA or as a
As like
first
a
year.
regular, unless you RA'd your first year.
Oh no,
which I-
you can't. So
Yeah.
the first year I was I had a roommate that was a high school friend of mine. So
Mhm.
we went to the same college. We're like, hey, want to roommate together? And we did.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, that was
So you-
fun.
Knew your roommate going in. That's cool. You
Yeah.
can shoot.
Yes, I mean it's good. Also, it's only 1 year. I feel like if I do it for more than 1 year, I would hate him. But
Oh,
not there's anything wrong with him, but I feel like I would be sick of him just because it's in the same room, you know, like same house, not a problem. But I feel like same room,
Yeah.
it's very
Dorm in general, I don't think I could have done for more than the 1 year that I did it.
yeah, just
No, I need space.
like yeah, exactly. Like I'm an extrovert, so I always go out anyway. But when I do need my space, I guess I should have a little bit of my space. So that's
Yeah.
why being an RA was not easy because I had to go to school, which is my full-time job as a student, and then I come back from school from class. I am still working because I'm an RA. So
Yeah.
it does feel like nonstop working 24/7, which it was.
I could get that. Well,
So
I
that
think
was
sometimes with,
stressful.
like those small spaces, I don't know that it's always like you can have an issue with the space, but you can also have an issue with like the control. So
Mhm.
even as an extrovert, like maybe sometimes the small space, it's just like
Mhm.
you just can't like control what's going on. Because I had 2 roommates when I dormed, and one was in ROTC. She was in the Navy. So she
Mm.
like woke up at 5 every day. Her whole side of the room was fucking perfect. And then my other roommate who lived on the bunk above me.
So there's 3 people in one room? That's crazy.
Huh?
3 people in one room?
The school was really, really impacted.
What?
So she was from Santa Barbara though, and her shit was everywhere. She like never took care of anything. I think she grew up with a maid, so like the two of them were like always fighting. And a lot of it, I think, really had less to do with the tiny space and more to do with like them wanting to like control the other one.
And you, on the other hand, just like having popcorn, just go like,
They like never saw me. I don't know what they thought of me because I worked graveyard shifts all the time when I was in school. So I would go to class, sleep between classes, and go to work at night. So whenever they came back during the day, I was just like dead ass asleep. And I sleep like a rock. And then like, I don't think they ever noticed that I was gone at night because both of them were in sorority. So they were out a lot of the time. I think they probably just thought I was like a lazy slacker. Like a stone.
She just sleep all day. But at least you're not part of the drama, so that's good. Yeah. No, like
true.
I was in RA second year. It was great. You know, I had lots of fun. My policy, because I was a freshman before that. So I was like, you know what? My policy is just have fun, do whatever you want, as long as you're not hurting someone, you're not hurting yourself. Enjoy your first year of college, you know.
Don't
that kind of
use the microwave for popcorn because it sets off the fire alarms, and that's literally the worst thing ever.
We had to deal with so many fire alarms in because we live in a suite system, which is kind of like an apartment, kind of. Oh man, it just go off like at least once a month, and it's so annoying.
Yeah, I hated it because I worked at the front desk, and so we would have to go and check the room, and it'd be like, y'all did not make me get up. Really?
Yep.
For popcorn, use the microwave downstairs.
Also, like no lava lamp and stuff. Do you know lava lamp is actually supposed to be very dangerous? Supposedly.
Oh, I've never.
That's why it's more of an 80 thing. That's why like since 90 you don't really see lava lamp. Apparently they catch fire or something.
Oh, I had no idea they were fire hazards.
But I'm kind of miss them. Like lava lamp or like the ball of the electricity thing, the disco thing.
Yeah. The, like little Tesla zappy thing.
Yeah, those things. Those were fun. So yeah.
Could
anyway,
those into a prop at some point.
Ooh.
One day.
If we can make a mini version of it, that might be fun.
If I was more skilled, perhaps I would try.
Yeah. It's okay. Who needs skill these days? Especially the cosplay.
Yeah. Cool. I feel like everybody's skill set is just broadening and people's skill trees are getting weird.
Dude, when the whole armor thing happened, that was crazy.
The arm? What do you mean the armor?
Like in the cosplay world, about what, 3 or 4 years ago, when suddenly everyone's making armors.
I don't know. I feel like when I joined the cosplay community, everybody was already doing armor.
What?
Yeah.
Okay. I did start cosplay way before you did, but still, it does feel like for me it's the last 3 or 4 years where, because like especially Wobbler got bigger, and then everyone started making armor cosplay.
5 years ago.
Okay, so okay, you're right. So it's about the time that you started. So it's a little bit after, like a year after you started.
I came right in as all the armor stuff was happening.
Yeah, like I feel like 2015. That's when it's like people start doing armor, but still using old method. But then like a year after you was when they started having Wobbler, where everyone started making Wobbler cosplay, and then they're like, oh, Wobbler's too expensive. So now everyone's like, we can do foam.
Yeah. And
then
it sucks. I hate working with Wobbler.
It's expensive too.
It was like 3 to 4 years for Martin. It's probably like 7 years for the rest of us because she moves so fast.
I do move very fast.
Time doesn't move the same for the two of us, you know? How long have you been in like the cosplay community?
Over 10 years.
Oh shit, dude. What's it been like watching it transform? The only person I really like heard talk about it was Ricky. And she said like
Riddle?
the biggest difference is people used to not wear makeup because like you never saw pictures of what you looked like or anything like that. So you have to like go and develop pictures. And then as soon as social media happened, everyone started wearing like makeup and eyelashes and stuff.
So right before I came in, there was I I got started along with social media. We're in the very beginning of social media, so I get to ride along with that. But I have talked with people even before me about how that works. Is that with Yaya Han, also Anna Fisher, like photographer, cosplayer. Back in the days when, as you said, like there's no digital camera as well, so people actually do photo shoot. They take photos, and then they might or might not get their photos back. Again, there's no social media, so there's not really. Maybe email is the best, but even email wasn't that big, so people have to write their name and phone number and address on a piece of paper to collect those pictures, and then the photographer will go home and then develop them and then make X number of copy for each person. Let's say you do group photos and there's 4 of you, they have to make 4 copies and mail it to those 4 people. So that is how it was back in the days. Yeah,
I just picture it being like a bit more like community friend hangout base.
Oh yeah.
I don't know.
Even when I first started, like because social media wasn't that big, it was a lot of fun. I mean, it still is, but it was so much more fun because I forget who I was talking to before about this. Maybe Ashley last week, but like there's no competition because there isn't one existing. There's no way to compare people regardless you want to or not. So everyone was just a bunch of misfits in life, especially in school, just decide to have an escape. So they all go to conventions and have fun as nerds.
Yeah.
So,
and I feel like it's changed even in like the 5 years that I've been doing it. But the first time I cosplayed, I didn't know that people were going to want to take so many pictures or that they were going to ask about social media because I didn't actually have any the first time that I cosplayed.
That's how it was back then for me. There was no such thing as Instagram didn't exist.
That's wild. I mean, it didn't really exist to me until people told me to get one.
Such a weird
like,
world.
Oh, okay, let's do this. But the people I was with, they would go and do photo shoots. And I was like, a photo shoot? What does that mean?
Yeah.
So it was ALA in 2015 was my first con. So like, I was dressed as Ivysaur. I just followed them around to what they were
So
doing.
which ALA was it? Was it the one at the pool?
Yeah, it was when it was back when it was at the Marriott.
That one is so much fun.
It was so much better because it was like a tiny Katsucon since everybody hung out in the rooms, and now ALA is just like any other convention. I don't.
And see, I love the whole thing about ALA is that I love it so much with the Marriott swimming pool is that you will like hopefully you're going with a friend or 2. I mean, most likely you are, and you're roaming with someone. Yeah. And then what happens is that during daytime, you all take photos, kind of like a small gathering of a bunch of cool people. There's gonna be one person jumping in the pool and it's like, oh, and then at nighttime, everyone go get food, like some fast food, just around the area, and then we all start partying. And that was the best part because you will go from one room to another. And at first, you the first time you worry, right? Because like you only know your friends. You're at one party, you're already comfortable. But then like, hey, let's go to the other one. And you're like, oh, I don't know because I don't know who I know. I'm kind of nervous, Then you go with your friends, and then you go to second room. It's like, oh shoot, I know this person too. Or like, oh shoot, you're that I don't know, Pikachu I saw earlier or some other cosplay I saw earlier. And then you start talking, and then next thing you know, you're just doing room jumping one to another, and then it's just so much fun.
Like exactly how you would experience ALA. As an introvert, I just stayed with my friends in one room on the ground floor. But it was nice because we had one that faced the courtyard. So and like all of my friends also super introverted. Like we all know each other, so we're having a good time. But like they set up a bunch of snacks and like a drink table. So we let people come into the room and experience us, but we didn't leave and go to other rooms to experience them.
I have been to so many rooms.
Godzilla dressed like a guy dressed as Godzilla, he came in, decided he loved us, and then brought us moonshine. Ooh. And then chased a bunch of the mermaids that were hanging out in the pool. It was a good time. What a great con.
It's actually the convention where I met Mac Turney.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was before she even did SourceFed or anything else. So she was just doing cosplay for funsies. And but yeah, no. So you're saying that you're facing the courtyard. I'm guessing you're like on 2nd or 3rd or 4th floor, right?
No, we were on the ground floor, like
the pool level. Yes,
where everyone hangs out. That's where
the pool level is the best. I had it for a few years too. You open the door and it's already the con. Like that's such a great experience that I don't know how many other conventions you have. Yes, Katsucon. Yes, the hotel is the con, but when it's come to ALA, which is you literally open the door and it's already the con. Like literally, you don't. There's no hallway, no nothing. I open the door, it's con, and that is such an awesome experience.
Yeah, and SoCal doesn't really have one like that anymore. Like,
Yeah.
you have to go to Fanime, and Fanime is not the same either. It's a bunch of hotels. It's just
Yeah.
what I would call like a social con and not like a regular con.
Mm-hmm.
So you have like Fanime, Katsucon, Dragon Con, Hallmat. Those are all like social based cons. And they
Mm-hmm.
used to
Yep.
be ALA and then it changed. So like SoCal doesn't have a social con anymore.
What if we find a way to get? I think I don't think they'll let us anyway. The Marriott Hotel is like, hey, we're gonna start another con.
I'm sure that one of the issues is that SoCal has so many cosplayers and like
Mm-hmm.
pop culture like fans that there's no one hotel that could fit everyone. It would end up being like Dragon Con and nobody wants to deal with that. But I still hold up. Start one.
Yeah,
Mark
we'll
my
figure it
calendar.
out. If anything, like it'll be the JW Marriott downtown, but we don't even use the convention center. Just use the hotel. I just want a hotel con. Hotel cons are always so much fun.
Yeah, it's the best one. I didn't go into the convention floor of Hallmat or Dragon Con or
Yeah.
Fanime or ALA.
There's so many cons that I'm like, I mean, Colossal Con is one of the closer one, and it's also an interesting one,
I've
a
never
special
done
one. You've never done Colossal Con? I think you would like it.
I'm sure that I would. I don't think that people do Colossal Con as much now after they had their whole like spiral of drama, I guess.
Yeah,
Seems like everyone then switched to doing YetiCon, which was another like water park type of con, I guess.
yes, a little bit. It's more of a resort kind of con, but
Okay.
the place is kind of big, so it's still a lot of walking. But the reason why I think you like Colossal Con because it's the same way where you're like, I'm tired. I'm gonna go back to my room, get a drink, and you can.
Yes. As long as it's not cold. Pretty much, I just don't like cons that are cold.
Yeah. So I actually haven't done Hallmat yet. Maybe I'll do it next time.
You didn't go to Hallmat?
No.
Hallmat is it's so dope. I really love it. It's a good size. It's like smaller than Katsucon, so it's not nearly as expensive. And also the weather is way nice. I mean, it's a little bit hot and humid, but
in December?
But yeah, it's still humid even then, but it was still really nice.
What about not Katsucon, but it's the same location. MacFest. I heard it's pretty fun.
Never done MacFest.
Yeah, I heard it's like if my friends were saying that it feels like an older version of Fanime, which is like smaller, which is more fun. So maybe.
Yeah, I've forgotten what cons are like now. We've been in quarantine for so long, but even before I didn't really go to a lot of cons. It was really exciting.
I was supposed to go to a cons like every other week this year.
That sounds like you. But
Yeah.
you're a goer. You go and you
now I'm stuck at home and trying not to go crazy and die. But when do you think it's gonna be over? Like when we can, like even when it's over, are you gonna go back to cons, or are you gonna be like, actually maybe not? Wait for a bit.
It depends on what over means. Like once we hit phase 3, I'll go out and do stuff, but I don't think phase 3 means that cons are safe. Phase 4 is when like the bigger meetups of people are going to be allowed, and I feel like that's not really going to happen until there's a vaccine, which we're making progress on, but we don't have yet. So I don't plan on taking the extra risk of going to cons until like there's a really clear like okay, what I mean?
I don't
Like
think we're there yet.
Everybody's saying Disneyland is a good indicator of kind of what's going on. So when they open and allow masks, like that will be a good indicator that we're maybe headed in the right direction. But
I wonder how much money Disney is losing without the park running.
Disney owns everything. I don't feel bad for Disney for 1 second. I wish that they would pay all of their employees through this entire quarantine. They have an absurd amount of money.
Oh, they do. They have enough money to last for a long, long time, for even without new incomes. Yeah, but I'm sure they're also losing a lot. I mean, relatively, like they're still losing a huge chunk of money, even though they still have a lot.
But also, like, what have they made on some of their Disney products and their Disney content, Disney Plus? I'm sure that they are overall losing more than they expected, but I wouldn't be surprised if the end of the year it's Disney. They own everything.
Yeah, I mean, there's like other companies actually made more money because of quarantine. There's stuff like I'm guessing Zoom might be making more money.
Just a little bit, probably.
Yeah. I
With
heard
Hendo
actually.
for sure.
So I actually hear about. I forgot who I heard this from, but I think OnlyFans actually is making more money as well because everyone's consuming content at home.
Yeah, well, and more creators are on the platform now too, I think.
Yeah. Like
They're
exponential. Same for Twitch.
what?
Same for Twitch. There's like a huge increase of like viewers.
Oh yeah, there would have to be. Like everybody's home and watching stuff live. I have way more viewers now than I did before. And I don't think that's
Yeah.
just like growing and stream more consistently. I think people are just home more. To, like watch and have something.
Do you have a schedule? Do you have a streaming schedule?
I do now. Yeah. I do Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Before I was just doing Wednesday, and then I added 2 more days because I'm home.
So I made this show in mind of my convention schedule. Like I was supposed to do this. I mean, I was doing this before coronavirus become a huge lockdown thing.
Yeah.
So that's why I made it Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday instead of like Monday, Wednesday, Friday. You know, there's some gaps. That's what people usually do.
Yeah.
But because I was thinking, oh yeah, Friday and Monday I might still be at a con, which probably not happening anymore. But the thing is, like, now it doesn't happen. I might be start doing like a Photoshop stream every Monday now.
Yeah, that would be cool
Yeah.
too, especially if you like give tips on how that process works, I guess.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I did it. I did it
mostly-
yesterday.
What?
I did it yesterday where I just have so how I do my Photoshop stream is that I let people send in photos and I'll edit it live and show them how I would do it. Some cool tips and tricks over there, here and there, you know.
Nice. Do you like it? Streaming?
Not as much as I want to. Like, it's because I'm an extrovert. So if I have people to talk to, great. You know, like if I have chat, awesome, more than happy. But when I first started out, it was tricky because, you know, I was new. There's not a lot of viewers. I wasn't doing this regularly. So then it was like, oh, it's weird talking to camera and don't get that response. And I realized that as an extrovert, what we like is the human response, the instinctive, instant gratification from it.
Well, I think it depends. Like, you know, introvert and extrovert are only 2 sides of a coin. And, you know, obviously people are super multidimensional. So it kind of depends
Spectrum, yeah.
on like what type of extrovert you want to be. Like somebody like Roger, I've seen Roger just like, he's more of like an expressive extrovert, I feel. Like he just wants to sit there and like express how much he loves a thing. So I think for somebody like that, the interaction isn't even as important. I feel like Heavenly's the same way. Like they just want to talk about a thing that they like. Whereas I do know more extroverts that are like you that want more of some kind of like interaction or trade-off.
Yeah.
So like, I don't know, do you know what it is you're looking for when you're like an extrovert?
I think it's mostly definitely an interaction. It's more like, you know, seeing how people respond to things that I say and how they react to it, and then able to engage with them socially. So I think that kind of human connection is what I like most.
Yeah.
So I think, again, this quarantine is a good way for me to realize that.
Yeah. You appreciate it even more once it goes back to normal.
Yeah. I mean, as I said it many times here as well. It's like sometimes like I would even just go out there just to get food. So then I could talk to someone through the drive-through window.
That's true. I usually hate like store small talk, you know, when like the cashier wants to talk, or like even just like the Walmart greeters being like, hi. I'm just like, pass. I don't like it. But now that I've been in quarantine and I have so little human interaction, now I'm like, oh yeah, I'll like make small talk. It's wild. I used to hate it.
Yeah, normally I wouldn't do it either because it just seemed like a waste of time, and also like I might never see you again in my life. So why? What's the point?
Weird. We're the same about that, even though you're an extrovert and I'm an introvert.
Yeah, you know, because I'm also from Hong Kong, so our my interaction with, you know, store clerks or like tellers at a bank are very efficient. It's more like, give me my money and let me go. Give me my stuff. I bought it. Just let me go. I don't care about the weather. Stop asking about the weather.
I love that about like Asian culture in general.
Yeah, it's funny because like when I do it at the store, I don't feel like they're doing me a service when they're being nice and entertaining. When they're talking to me about my small talk about the weather and stuff, I feel like it's more I'm doing them a favor, which is weird, which is not. I know we're both just like they thinking they're doing me a favor, but I'm thinking I'm doing them a favor because I don't care about it either.
I kind of get the vibe though, like even just boothing at a con that's like slower. the few
Hmm.
people that do come by, I'm like, please stay here and talk to me because
Yeah.
time moves faster this way. So maybe I should think about it like more from that perspective and like help their day go on a little faster. Yeah.
So as you leave the door, they're like, please come back. What? No, nothing,
Yeah.
nothing.
Still need me.
Like,
6 more
I
hours.
was, yeah, because they're working there. I was going to a UPS store or FedEx or whatever, I forgot what it was, with my housemate a few months ago. Sorry, times kind of change. A few months
Yeah.
ago, but it was at a Chinese area. So it's not I'm not even sure it's an actual UPS store. It could be just like a mailing shop that does like, post office that do UPS, FedEx, like all of them. Oh man, the Chinese guy there, they see that I'm Chinese and maybe they hear that I speak Chinese, even though we're speaking English. But
Huh.
it was so efficient. I show up and say, hi, I need to ship this. Okay, to where? I tell him like, so whatever this is like, okay. And he's like, 350, cool. I pay the price and cool. And just throw the box there. No, thank you, no, we welcome. And I was like, oh my god, I'm falling. That was so efficient. Like I almost love you.
Can I ask you a question also about
Yeah.
being bilingual? This
Okay,
is
yeah,
something
yeah.
my mom every once in a while when I was little. Do you think in English or in Chinese?
Oh, good questions. So this is something that depends on who I'm with and who I'm talking to.
Mhm.
If I'm talking about by myself, when I first moved to America, it's mostly Chinese, of course, because I still couldn't think fluently in English.
Yeah.
Now is in recent years, no, sorry, not recent years, just recent 1 year actually, it's been very interesting. So I'm living with Kenson. He's like kind of like a half other side of me, which is my housemate.
Yeah.
He is born American in America, but he grew up learning about Hong Kong culture.
Mm.
So he really liked that stuff. He tried to be more
Parents,
Hong
like,
Kong, try to be more Chinese, right?
did his parents come from?
Yes, I think his parents come from Asia.
Oh, okay.
Not sure where in Hong Kong, but like or China somewhere, but like they're Cantonese for sure.
Okay. Gotcha.
But I'm actually born and raised in Hong Kong, and I came over here trying to be more American and learn, English and the American culture. So it's kind of like yin and yang kind of situation. But what recently that I found very interesting in the last 12 months is that because we go to eat Chinese food all the time, I don't see word as in the word itself. I see it more as a concept. So I'll be reading a sign that's in English and Chinese, and I don't
Mhm.
realize he cannot read Chinese. So I'll be instantly tell him like, yeah, just look at the menu, and then he's like, what are you talking about? Just look at it. So I get a little frustrated sometimes. Like, what do you mean? What do you not get? And it's like, oh wait, you don't understand because it's in Chinese.
Mhm.
So words have become concept to me. So for example, the best way for me to explain this is that for example, I'll show you a picture of a square, a red square. In your head, you already know it's a red square. And then if someone asks you, it's like, can you spell that? It's like, yeah, sure, RED space SQUARE, red square. But it's not spelled out. It's actually a red square, like you're seeing it image-wise. So that's kind of how it's like for me for Chinese and English now. To me, they became instant concept because I'm so fluent in both language. I can translate it into just concept ideas instead of words.
Well, I guess, yeah, I mean, that might also like extrapolate to whether or not you think in words or in concepts or in pictures and things like that too.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, when I asked because my mom came here, she doesn't know how old she was. She was brought here by another family, but she's been here since she was probably like a teenager. So she mostly like feels like she thinks in English, except for numbers. She said numbers
Oh,
she
yeah.
was able to think of in English. She always had to think of them in Vietnamese and then translate it to English. And that's kind of why she's not as good at math. Like, I feel like my mom's very smart, but math was always super hard for her because she was like, I just could never think of it in English. There was always like an extra translating step.
So some of the stuff for me was tricky. For example, I read the first 4 Harry Potter in Chinese.
Oh,
So when I was reading 5, 6, 7, wait, how many are there? 7, right?
there was 7, yes.
Yeah. So 5, 6, 7, I read them in English. So it gets a bit confusing sometimes because like especially names, like pronouns that doesn't have meaning translations. So I have to like guess what they are.
Yeah.
I remember when I first came to America too. Like our teacher was doing this thing where they give you like a easy math question, multiplication or I think it's multiplication, and then you have to raise your hand and answer it. I was really slow because I think numbers in Chinese, right?
Yeah.
So I actually I don't know how I able to do it, but I convinced teachers like, how about we do it on the whiteboard instead, and I definitely instantly have an advantage, and everybody hated me because of course my math is so much better than my classmate, because in Hong Kong our lower, like, yeah, our education system is very more advanced for lower grade, especially come to math. So I was so fast, I was beating every single one, so everybody hated me for that. Not a great way to become popular new kids in school.
Seems like you enjoyed that superiority, though.
A little bit, yeah. So nowadays when I do numbers, the cool thing is that I can do two set of numbers in my head. I can keep one set of numbers in Chinese and one set of number in English. So I'm like counting something in this way. If I don't want to keep it like MRMC or whatever that thing in the calculator, which I still don't know actually what it is, but I can put that number aside in English and then do my number in Cantonese in the other language. So if I need to come back, I'll just grab it from here and bring it over here if I need it, which is pretty fun. Yeah.
I just wonder what like the base is when you're not like overthinking.
Yeah. So I remember, how when you're counting, people love to mess with you and let's say other numbers. You're counting like, and sometimes like keep saying a number next to your ear, try to mess you up. It never worked on me in America because they'll be talking English. I'll be like, sure, I'll just keep it in Chinese and I'll be fine.
That's cool. You can like tune out the language.
Yeah. Personality wise, it's also very different for me. My personality change when I'm thinking in different language. Oh, sorry. Hold on. I'm losing you a little bit. I can see you, but I'm not hearing you. Not at all. Did something happen? I know you lag out for half a second and then... Hello. All right. How about this? Let me disconnect the call and then let's...
Every time I have this issue in Discord, it'll just like, if it stutters, it just can't figure it out again. We always have to disconnect and reconnect. Yeah. I do like every Wednesday we do like a Wednesday wine night meeting. So we all get and we hang out on Discord. So we fucking understand every issue that Discord has. It's the word. No, it's with Discord specifically. Because I stream like 3 days a week and don't really have this issue. I only ever have it on.
Gotcha. Yeah, sorry, I was muted for a second there too for a stream as well. But yeah, personality wise, my personality also changed depends on what language I'm thinking in. Because words, our idea and concept are based on things that you think about, and how you think depends on the word that you know. So
that's probably more like your expressional affect that changes. I feel like your personality probably is fairly consistent, but I guess that depends on how we think about what personality is. Like, how would you describe your personality?
So for example, I'm not sure what you consider personality or expressions. Like when I'm thinking in Chinese and around Chinese environments, I'm much more respecting for elders. There's a very much hierarchy situations. So it's really about knowing your place. But if I'm thinking English, especially American English, it's more about individualism. So it's about me and how I should shine among everything and that kind of thing. A little bit. Not in a, like an egotistic way, but it's more at least like you don't have to be very thing of the hierarchy. Like no matter, like, because like in the Chinese culture, even if your elders are wrong, you don't really correct them, kind of thing.
Yes, that would be horrifying.
Yeah.
If we ever corrected a teacher.
Yeah, exactly. So that's the kind of thing. So it's that I feel like that's also changed how personality is kind of.
I don't know. For me, it's more like, I mean, when I'm like switching between cultures, especially when I don't really talk to my mom anymore, but back when I knew her and we would visit like, the family that she came here with, or just kind of dealing more with Vietnamese culture in general. I don't think I never experienced much shift in who I was as a person, but I absolutely shifted how I expressed myself to other people. Usually by sitting still and not arguing, which I don't think even with white culture, but...
The difference also is not just bilingual for me, it's by culture. It's like how, like, all the media that I'm watching as I growing up, like TV show and stuff like that, are very different than TV shows here. So
yeah, I guess I'm thinking more like, to me, the way that I think of personality, has a lot to do with your values, your interests, and like your world's perspective. So like your philosophical perspective. But I guess like, yeah, it's everybody has a different perspective on what personality is. So to me, I guess maybe that's more of like an identity thing. My personality doesn't change too much across whatever culture or whatever group of people I'm in. I still feel the same things about what I'm experiencing, but my interaction is definitely super different depending on who I'm.
That's a good point because I don't know. I'm just trying to think if there's anything that I would think if I'm thinking in English, I'd be like, yeah, that's definitely makes sense. We should do it this way. But if I'm thinking in Chinese, I'd be like, no, that's morally wrong. I think I kind of already, I'm at this point of my life, I have combined them both into one kind of way. Like how, so that's why I know there's some concept that I know it will be very rejected by American culture, but I still like, no, this makes sense. But then it's make me feel like everyone else a hypocrite when it's just culturally different.
I do process things differently depending on what culture I'm looking at. If I'm looking at a group of even people from different parts of the United States, I might judge them through their own context, you know, like even just talking to like you and Jono, if you guys are just like, you know, you get like not as expressive, I guess. I know though who you guys are in your culture, so now I feel like I can gauge that you guys are still having a good time. Whereas like if Luigi ever had the same expression as like Jono,
it's the end of the world.
Are you okay? Are you gonna be okay? Yeah, so like I definitely act a little different between the two, but I think even just in friend groups, did you ever have like really different friend groups where your role was different in each group?
Yeah.
Because I have like some groups where like I know that I'm expected more so to like carry the conversation or like be the life of the party, and then I have groups where I'm more like the quiet nerdy one.
Yeah.
And it's weird. Like I feel like my personality is the same in all of them, but it's kind of like rolling a die. It's like I'm the 4 in this group, but I'm the 1 in this group, and it's kind of like you get to live a bunch of different lives that way too. I feel.
And I feel like that's how I am too as a content creator too in the cosplay scene and or online space. I know lots of people are the same, but for me, I feel like it's quite different actually. I kind of have to.
Yeah, everybody has something like really unique that they bring.
Yeah, I mean, because there are something that I don't know is a cultural difference or just maybe I personally think things are different. I know for a fact that it's not popular opinions, but I know the internet doesn't always like unpopular opinions. In fact, majority of the time they're like a certain opinion about certain things. So I'm like, so I was like, should I say that or it's gonna cost me?
Yeah, because it depends in like, especially I think in the US, you can't rely on people understanding a foreign culture or understanding the context of where you came from. I guess if that makes sense. So that's like, hella of a gamble. You're just gonna have to like consult your roommates and be like, is this worth putting on Twitter?
But sometimes I just feel like this is how people should think logically. But I know sometimes my household would actually tell me, it's like, Martin, that's too logical. People would not like that.
Yeah, that depends. I don't know. Have you ever like made content created more for like your Chinese culture, I guess?
So that's why I like streaming now. And like even podcasts like this, I get to talk more with, friends like you and even to viewers. Or I do start making YouTube stuff more. So it's more like, hey, let me slowly letting you guys know how I see things. Maybe not the same as you, but at least you know how I perceive some things a certain way. Most likely we're not gonna be the same with lots of people, but I still like it that way. So
I guess more like, have you ever thought of like streaming in Chinese or doing videos in Chinese? Kind of almost
that would
like
be hard because I'm Cantonese, right? And Cantonese is not that big number wise at people, compared to English and Mandarin. So it's gonna be a much smaller market. But that's why like in my YouTube videos, mostly I would always start with Joseon. My name is Martin Wong. Joseon is just mean good morning in Cantonese. It's kind of me incorporating a little to let people know, like, hey, I know a different language. I might be also from a different culture and that kind of stuff.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
So you stick to like mostly like American.
I actually talked with Jessica a lot about it, Nigri, about like because she actually very interested into about how the difference is in culture and how people think differently. So it's fun to explore it to see how I see things and how she sees certain things.
Well, I guess I think it might be interesting too for like people from Hong Kong, even if the demographic is smaller. There's this guy I follow on Facebook who is living in Japan, but he does these really short videos in English saying some Japanese words and describing some of the culture. But he's living in Japan, not doing videos for people in Japan or in Japanese. He's like kind of bringing it back, and I feel like you could probably do something similar for people over there. I'm sure the market's not as big. All the social media companies are very English based, but like maybe we'll do the same thing. Like, look at America. Look at these people talking to me in the store for no reason. They just want to talk. Susan here is very bored,
I feel like that do much better in the other way around because, like, as you said, like the market is so small. I feel like in Hong Kong, like this gonna sound stupid, but I would be considered a very big influencer if I go by number wise because that's how small people population is.
Yeah, that's what I mean though. Like even though that market isn't big, you could have like almost all of it.
Yeah, take it all. Yeah,
the whole thing though. It's kind of like you should shoot for like the green properties and like Park Place and the blue ones, but I'm over here like, but I own Baltic Avenue and I own that early. You have the money to pay me rent. You passed go. Like I feel like you could do both kind of, and I don't know. I feel like I would be so interested to see a version of your content that's for Chinese viewers.
Maybe I'll do both. Like I'll do one that's specifically for Cantonese speaker to show English stuff, and do one that's like all English but like talk about like Cantonese stuff. And speaking of Monopoly, very sidetrack, very off topic. Have you seen that one commercial for Mrs. Monopoly?
There's a Mrs. Monopoly?
It was so dumb. First of all, I'm not sure it's called Mrs. or Miss, but like it's supposedly a woman version for Monopoly game that came out like 2 years or 3 years ago. But oh my god, so this is the whole thing is stupid. The commercial at first you will not know where it's going. Like I should not spoil it for you because then I would have you guess what is it selling, and then it become a Monopoly thing. But the cool thing is that they do give a bunch of like women, young teenager, whatever, like trying to go into science or whatever, and give them money to fulfill their dreams or whatever. But the thing is that the board game was stupid. They made it so that every time you pass go, I think the women get more money than men.
That's weird. I guess I never thought of like Monopoly as inherently male anyway.
Yeah, I thought Monopoly, the whole point is about capitalism, which is like, hey, you all start off all equal, and then you good luck with it, and you all tear each other apart,
Yeah, that's weird. I feel like, they could have just maybe included more like female game pieces, but I never really thought of the game pieces.
Even the game pieces are not gender specific, other than maybe top hat,
There's been some weird areas of overcorrection on the whole gender balance thing. Like, definitely our society needed some balance with the gender stuff, but some places have taken it like too far and overcorrected it. And I feel like Monopoly for women would fall into that category.
I feel like the problem is that, first of all, would guys willingly to play it? And there's a problem. If they do play it, there's going to be two problems. I feel like if they lose, they'll be like, well, the game's rigged anyway, so I don't mind losing. It's not to my favor anyway. Or if they win, this is going to be even more cocky about it. It's like, haha, I was at a disadvantage and I still fucking beat you.
Superior over all women. That's really strange.
That's made it worse. So it's a real thing. And I was like, because I thought it was just a joke, right? I thought it was a parody video or something. But I look it up. That's a real thing, and it got popular. Like I think it was last week or 2 weeks ago. It suddenly resurfaced, but that thing was out like 2 years ago.
I don't know what to do with that.
Yeah, don't worry. I'll send it to you afterward to show you. It's just
okay.
It's so stupid. Yeah. Again, overcorrection. We have a lot of those, and I think we might gonna have that in cosplay very soon. I'm not sure. The whole cosplay industry, as you said, has changed a lot in the last 5 years.
Yeah, I could see that. I feel like I know that even when I joined like the cosplay community, because I entered it mostly from the Spidey community, from my perspective, it was fairly balanced, if not like a little bit more male. But
Spidey?
Yeah, so like the Spidey cosplay community, like the mini community, mostly a lot of men, and most of my friends that I made in cosplay were like, especially from the Disney community, which is mostly female.
Mm.
So it's a weird perspective that I especially early on mostly followed a lot of male cosplayers, but there aren't very many of them.
No, like even popular wise, there's not lots of them. No,
Yeah, and a lot of the ones that I used to follow don't really cosplay much anymore.
because it's hard. Like there is definitely an imbalance in when it comes to cosplay. Because like here, I want to ask you this. Like, I know there's people cosplay for a living, and there's people cosplay for fun. But let's say you do cosplay for fun. Would it be discouraging for a guy to know that their social content will not do as well if they're not a female cosplayer?
I think that depends. Like, it really depends on what you're using cosplay for.
Uh-huh.
Especially since I'm on the prop and host end of things,
Hmm.
it's still mostly men. So I see the people who make the most money in cosplay that are in the prop side of things, almost 100% men, and they're
Mm.
making a lot of money compared to some of the other things you can do versus like the modeling aspect of cosplay, obviously mostly female. They're making
Hmm.
way more money than a lot of men are going to be able to. So, I mean, it really depends on what you're looking for. Like, when I joined Defy for Prop Shop, they hadn't had much success finding women to host the show.
Hmm.
Um, so it really depends. I think that like you'll see a few people that are just fucking huge, like Leon or Maul cosplay, who's magnificent, or even
Hmm.
some of these female cosplayers that do a lot of gender bends or like are more gender fluid. That's a
Hmm.
community like same thing we're just talking about with maybe the Hong Kong audience is small, but it's niche. So if you make it in the niche and you are like one of the 5 male cosplayers that people know about, it's great. But it can be hard to break through, I think, especially if you try and do
Mm.
what women do. If that makes
Yeah, like I said this many times too. I got lucky. I started cosplay photography many years ago
sense.
before it got to this size right now, and I got into it right along with social media as well. And I know if I start today or even 5 years ago, I would never able to catch up with what I have now, social media following wise.
Maybe
So
the following,
yeah,
yeah.
again, it's also a niche too. Like back then, it was really niche. Like that was
I
not
do
a.
think, though, that you are really good at like networking. You're very efficient at explaining who you are and what you do. So I feel like you would be
Mm,
really successful, but probably, yeah, in like a slightly different aspect. Maybe in a similar way that, like, I also know a fair number of women that are great makers that don't have a social media following at all, but like
mhm.
they own like every cosplay contest they compete in and they do really good tutorials and instructional videos. But it I think it's always going to depend on what you want. If you're, a man that wants to be successful on Patreon or OnlyFans, it might be difficult to find the niche because I don't think that straight women especially consume that quite as much. But
Mhm.
you can
Correct.
find men that have success in some of those areas, you know?
Unless you, I do know friends that who I don't know what is their sexual orientation. However, they are definitely catering to gay men
Yes.
um,
Mhm.
on Patreon, and they are apparently making so much money.
Yes, because you definitely can. I don't think that it's particularly wise to pretend that you're gay and gay
Hmm.
bait, because I don't think that's really fair to deceive your audience that way. But I do know a few creators that are gay and do have like an audience built for that. But I do think that if
Hmm.
you're a man going into cosplay to make money from Patreon and OnlyFans and are upset that you don't have the same success, that's really built around the fact that straight women don't consume content the same way. We
Yeah,
don't spend
I
money
mean,
on.
there's a lots of other industry that's male dominated, so it's okay to have a few industry that is.
Yeah.
Uh,
Well, and even then, still, the prop making and like professional side of cosplay is still mostly men.
hmm. Yeah, I mean for props, why? Yeah, but I wonder if they got into props because they know modeling would not do as well for them. But yeah, most of the.
I don't know. I mean, I've seen some people get in just because they like making stuff, but also like
Mhm.
I know Leon has had great success because even though he lives overseas,
Uh-huh.
he's like, and same with Maul, who I think lives in Germany.
Yeah, I
Like,
think those two are the biggest male
so
cosplayer in the world
yeah,
currently.
so few men that cosplay. Companies are flying them in, which has got to be really expensive for them because they don't have another choice. And I think a lot of people are just like already defeated about an industry anyway, but like you gotta just go for it.
Yeah. And I think also the thing is about guys, I feel like when it comes to cosplay, is that they do not. First of all, it's a both things, right? They don't get as much encouragement when it comes to cosplaying or look and stuff like that because it's not common for guys to compliment guys on appearance, and also women don't like to compliment men to get the wrong idea that they're hitting on them because of how we're socially having that kind of, I guess, what was the word for it? Like expectation, you know? So, so therefore, then they don't get that kind of dopamine that's like, oh yeah, this is fun, I want to do this more. Then they have less practice. Then it's just kind of like a cycle of less and less and less, you know?
I think for sure we'll see how like cosplay evolves, but especially since it's so appearance based, a lot of that culture is built around how all of these genders and orientations express attraction.
Mhm.
And yeah, like the friendship part is an important part. Like on all of our sexy friends posts, I feel like I'll see men be like, you're so beautiful, you look great. And then girls will be like, sit on my face, like, yes, bitch, I want to come home to you. And like, we're more aggressive because
Mhm.
it's a different culture between all of us. And I would love to see that among men, but I don't know if that's going to happen anytime soon.
I don't think so. Like earlier, I saw a friend posted about how they're bodybuilders, and even when someone post their progress photos of their progress, then you get a bunch of other guys like gym bros that trying to like one up him for it. I'm just like,
Yeah, that's just
no.
like its own, I think, toxic ladder. But I also like, I don't know many men who want to be in front of a camera. All of the men I know that love these fandoms and love these characters want to shoot it. They don't want to be it. It's
I
weird.
think it's because they don't have that same encouragement to make them feel welcome for doing it. I
Maybe.
don't know.
Maybe it might also be like some societal upbringing of like, you don't want to be the center of attention, or like, do you really want to put yourself up for that type of criticism? Or I don't know. I know so many men, especially in this community, that are just so shy.
I'm not. Maybe
Yeah,
time
you
to
should
get into
cosplay.
cosplay.
You gotta cosplay more.
I should just buy a costume on Amazon and just wear them and take photos. Because I got the photos part down, right?
Yeah, yeah. I think it depends on the community you want to join too. Like for a lot of men that ask, how do I get involved in cosplay? I'll usually recommend either the Spider-Man community because it tends to be more heavily male, and
Mhm.
also everyone's really nice in that community. Or I'll recommend.
And also, if you don't like your face for some reason, you technically your face mostly cover anyway.
Exactly. I used to only wear Spider-Gwen with a mask on.
I do have a Captain Spider-Man outfit.
Do it. Was it Luke's?
No, it's mine.
Oh, really? Dude, wear it.
I did it at AX like, excuse me. I did it at AX like 2 years ago.
Oh, yeah?
I still have like a giant shoe too, like a Captain American shoe. But yeah, it's
especially when you divide a bigger thing into smaller groups.
mhm.
It's just a little easier to find your place in them. If you go in just wanting to be a cosplayer, I think it can be harder to find your way. So
Yeah.
little like niches help. And I'm a big fan of cosplaying from the fandoms that are nice. I think the Disney community is notoriously awful.
Oh yeah. I mean,
They're like really mean.
we have a lot of princesses actually act like princesses.
Yeah, they're cutthroat. Like, you know that part of Wreck-It Ralph where like Cinderella like slams the glass slipper, and that's how the Disney cosplay community is, I feel. Probably because it's also being like seeped in from regular consumers that are just going to have a lot of opinions about how you look and what you're doing anyway.
Mhm.
But some like fandoms that are just always nice is like Avatar, Spider-Man, Critical Role. Like, I think My Hero is becoming a little bit more toxic than it should, but being like a little bit aware of that is a lot too.
Wait, how come? Well, how do people see about? I don't know enough about My Hero world.
Weirdly, something that people fight about a lot in My Hero is ships.
Shipping people? Yeah, that's what I thought.
Like that character doesn't belong with that character. But there's also a bit of a split because My Hero is like a fairly fleshed out show. So it attracts both kids and adults. So adults are cosplaying these like grown up versions of these characters. You know, sometimes.
Have you heard about what happened recently with
What?
have you heard about what happened recently with Amanda? With
Amanda's always getting shit for it.
yeah.
I don't think it's quite fair, but I think especially on TikTok, you see a lot of different kinds of content in the My Hero community, and some of it's very young and some of it's older.
Hmm.
So, and then they fight about it, but the most intense fights I see are over these ships, which is like absurd.
And My Hero, I seen a few episodes of it. Well, not really. I seen clips of it. I saw the movie. Did I see you at the movie?
Yes, yeah. So we saw
Yeah.
the movie.
Again, never seen it before that. But yeah, so to me, I just learned that it's just influencer, but it's a cross between influencer and X-Men in a Japanese world. That's it.
Yeah, it's like a happy-go-lucky X, basically.
Yeah.
All of the quirks are exactly the same.
That's exactly how they're all just influencers, That's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
So
But,
it's interesting to see how it goes. I don't know. Maybe such a weird world to be. Though, so here's the thing I have talked to people about before, and I want to ask you. This is weird because, like, in many creative form, that's for sale, right? Like, let's say a movie. People can criticize film, but because cosplay is such an individual thing, it's hard to criticize it without seeming like an attack to the person. But would it be not good to improve it? Like, is it hard to improve cosplay as an industry or advance the industry of the whole cosplay itself because we're so concerned about individualism, like how each person is going to reflect themselves and anything's criticizing about them?
I think it depends on these groups of people that have goals. If you go to a park and criticize the way that those people are playing basketball, they're not trying to be pro. Like, they're out there having fun.
But is there such a thing as a pro cosplayer?
Huh?
Is there such a thing as a pro cosplayer then?
I think that we're starting to see it. Yeah. So for people that are looking for even like a more competitive side, or, they're in these cosplay competitions, then of course the criticism makes sense. So
Yes.
cosplay, I think, is starting to expand and diversify that way. So I think it's absolutely okay to criticize people sometimes, if that's what they want, though. If the person you're criticizing is just posting a picture of them having fun, I don't really see why you're taking the time to criticize them anyway. But if, they posted in, like these group forums for like, oh, this is how my gesture is going so far. What do you think? What can I improve on? And it's clear that they're trying to up their game or become more professional. That's an appropriate time for it. But
I think that in order for cosplay industry to advance to the next level, I think it has to be competition, like good competitions. Like I seen, having actually a competitive scene. We have for gaming, we have the esports scenes. For many things, also have a professional. That's the separation between professional and amateur, or people who's doing for funsy hobbyists. I think is that we need, but it's hard to have a legit, like an official cosplay competition because you have NBA for basketball, you have all that stuff for other sports. But
yeah, well, there are some really good ones. I feel like the
WCS,
E2 World Championship one, TwitchCon, and BlizzCon are probably three of the biggest ones. But it'll be interesting to see whether Twitch goes this route of kind of the way that like some of that athletic pro, I don't know what to call it, professional quality is. Like, there's cosplay and then there's pro cosplayers. Or if it'll be more like acting, where it just diversifies into specific subsects. So, right, you have theater actors, you have movie actors, you have TV actors, you have porn actors, you have like what acting is really, really diversified. So you might find people who are cosplaying more from an aspect of like photos versus like acting on TikTok versus like hosting shows and stuff. Like, that's what
I want to do like an annual show, like a not even a show, but at least like have an academy kind of situation where we have like judge people annually, instead of just per competition, or like even like how like video game awards kind of thing, where it's like game of the year is like they can have different categories.
I think that an award show would probably do a lot more than upping all of the competitions, I guess, because competitions don't attract many people from the community, whereas awards have a better opportunity to just pick people out. I think when actors started to have these awards that distinguish these accomplishments, that is really what set apart some of this professionalism.
Now I want to start it.
I could totally see you starting it. And I think it would really depend on who the judges were. And I think the fact that those judging like processes have stayed under wraps and stayed closed so that people can't just kind of discount the way that things are judged was a big thing that helped it be successful.
Hmm.
But
Wait,
it's
so
more so like
wait, hold on. Think that it should be more transparent about how they're judged, or do you think it's more behind closed doors, so it's
I think it
easier?
should be behind closed doors. My understanding of how that stuff is judged is it's extremely experienced critics. Like, it's not biased in any kind of way. They have very specific criteria. They're really looking at everything. So, like, all of the actors trust that process, I think. There are plenty
Hmm.
of things wrong with it. I can't believe stunts aren't a category, but whatever. Um, it's still growing, you
Yeah,
know?
because those people are actually like secret too, right? You don't know who they are because like for some reason either they want to be protected or something, but we actually don't know who those people are. We just know that the system is there.
Yeah, I think there's still this desire to have it be the illusion that it's one person the whole time, even though we know there are 16 different people that are Captain America. Mainly like 3 people are Captain America, I think. Um, but I think like, another thing is with those award ceremonies, that's also like just a fun thing for all the actors to go to and hang out with each other. And I could see cosplayers being a similar way. So especially making sure that it's less about who wins and more about all coming together and celebrating like, ooh, I remember when that person made this and posted it. That fucking slapped. They absolutely deserve an award. And have it be more about us like coming together and like circle jerking each other rather than it being a competition, if that makes sense.
Oh, and I really want to start one. Oh,
Dude, I
frick.
think this is the way to go. Did we just like come up with some crazy shit right now?
That is okay. Like I already think about all the logistics and how much work it would be, but it would be so much fun.
Yeah,
Like,
it'd be really cool. It'd be cool just to sit and like think about all the different categories too, because that's going
yeah.
to define what cosplay is.
I wonder if there's a way we can start small first and then still. Oh, man.
It's
No,
probably not going to be a good idea to start small because then it's going to be seen as elitist.
no, not a small group of people, but like, how do we even
Oh, you
start
mean
it? Like,
like categories?
yeah. Like, as in, like, small, as in, like, the whole presentation. Like, here's the thing, like, there's one way to do very big, right? Which is like team up with a company or something, but then that could be like there's a bias situation. But then, as you said, or like team up with someone to actually make it during conventions, but then the convention would be a convention thing, which is not the award itself.
Yeah, you
So
be its own thing for
yeah,
sure.
small would be like, oh, we could do it like the first year is gonna be like do it all through internet, because especially quarantine situation,
Mhm.
for example. But you know what? Me and you should talk about more about this later too. To like,
We should, dude. We should do a thing
should
because that would be so cool. And like, to me, the hardest part about competitions is like, I see so many fucking awesome people do stuff that do not want to compete. They don't
oh
want
yeah,
to
there's so many. Yeah.
They don't want to be pitted against anyone else. They just want to make a thing and enjoy it. And being able to commend those people would be really cool.
So do they get nominated, or how would that work?
I think a nomination system would be really cool. Obviously, that's how all of these acting awards work also. Some things
Mhm.
I think are a given where it's like, this person was amazing. Of course they're going to be nominated. And I think you would kind of need that because our pool is obviously very big.
Yeah, that's a problem. There's
Mhm.
like thousands and thousands of cosplayers. Then you'd be like, how you can be like, yeah, because I don't want to like forget some people and not have some people in it. So nomination have to work that way. But
And I think it would be good to have like a few categories and limit it to either North America or the US, but then have
Mhm.
some foreign categories. That makes sense. Like
Mm.
cosplay from Russia or cosplay from Germany or Europe, and then have like 4 of the categories that apply to European cosplayers. Because
Mhm.
obviously it's not going to be super logistical to include everyone in the world.
Mhm.
I don't
Dude,
think you'd have to like.
Russian cosplayers are ridiculous.
Hmm?
Those Russian cosplayers, like
Yeah,
especially their
it's
photos.
crazy what people can produce in countries that are just different in culture or different in emphasis. I think
I
especially
think it has to do
culture.
with also it has to do with the industrialization of it. When our cosplay wasn't industrialized yet in America, it was pretty much like that. But because like money involved, it changed the industry a lot.
Sort of, yeah. I think some of it has to do with education. I think a lot of the amazing German cosplays I've seen have been very engineering based, and they get a
Hmm.
much better system of education than we do. Trying to explain
Hmm.
a simple LED circuit to Americans is hard because most haven't really had a physics class.
Have you seen
Yeah.
Svetlana like tutorials? Like I
Yes,
sometimes I
and
just feel like you just do this and add a few LED lights and do a few programming and you're done. I'm like, wait, I feel like you skipped like 15 steps.
steps missing. So like you come from a different system of education. And like
It's like that one where it's like draw a circle, then draw the rest of the owl. It's like, wait, hold on, what?
yeah, it's like a beautiful portrait. I think with Russia too, they have such a unique history of art that some of the
Hmm.
ways that they shoot and express their art, like like so many of those Russian pictures have like that beautiful like Renaissance aesthetic.
Hmm.
And like they have a different artistic culture. America's a baby. We don't know what we're doing. It's just a bunch of like I feel like childish cartoon garbage that I
Every
live
time,
for. And I
every time I
also
look at the Russia one, every time I see a pictures and I look at it, I'm like, Russian? I look at the tag, yeah, Russian.
love Russia.
It's yeah, they definitely have a style. Like I know each region of the world because I actually look at lots of cosplay photos, and even my Discord is full of photographers from all around the world, so I can tell by the regional style of
Mhm.
where they kind of from. And also like here's the thing, I feel like for Russia, it has to do with a lot of connections. Like you have connections so you can get to some location that we don't have.
Mhm.
Also, America only have what 300, 400 years of history, so there's not a lot of like ancient buildings. There's no
Yeah.
castle. In
Well,
Europe, I see a lot of cosplayers just like, let's just go to a castle. Or like, what do you mean just go to a castle? It's like, yeah, let's just go to a castle and do a shoot.
yeah.
No, we don't have that.
I mean, my friend Irene was also saying like they have studios everywhere. Art studios are super common in Russia. Russia obviously has its own
Hmm.
political discord and its own like cultural problems, but like
Is she
she was
still
like,
stuck in America?
yeah, she's still in America. We're that's a separate thing, but yeah, like she was like, it's everywhere. People are encouraged to make art, and it's very very cheap. So like it's weird that Americans think this is so fancy because to us, like, this is a very shitty studio that's down the road and it's kind of everywhere, you know? And I was like, I mean, we just don't
It's like a
appreciate
Taco Bell.
the same way. Yeah, exactly. It's like a McDonald's studio. But we don't have that same emphasis on art. I think that a lot of American cosplay and content creation is very much centered around personalities and influence.
Mhm. Yeah, and that's a very American kind of cultural thing.
Yeah, and
So,
there's some aspects of that I like too. Like I love interacting with people. So it's
mhm.
a little more personal and conversational that way. But I also wish that I had learned more about art and science so that I'd be better at cosplay.
Now I'm thinking about like what we actually learn in our educational system.
It's gotten a lot better because Common Core is like changing the way that we teach, especially math and science. Now it's a little more similar to the way everyone else on the planet learns it, which is better. A
Hmm.
lot less rote memorization, a lot more conceptual thinking. But it'll be a while before I think that has an impact on culture.
It takes
Common
at
Core's
least,
only
yeah,
been
it
for
takes
like
a
a
few.
year thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know. We're working on it.
We are. It's going well too. I used to tutor math a lot. So tutoring these kids through Common Core was an interesting challenge because parents hate it.
Oh,
Like,
definitely, because they used to a certain
yeah,
system.
adults
Yeah.
learn long division this one particular way that sucks, and now kids learn arrays and like they learn like four different ways to do any one thing.
Uh
And it's
huh.
really hard for them because their parents don't understand it, and the teachers a lot of the time don't understand it. But I'm like, kid, you know four ways to solve this problem. I only have my one way I learned and a calculator. You're
Hmm.
crushing it out here. Don't worry about it.
It's better for problem solving actually, which is
It's
great.
way better.
Yeah. So I haven't tried it yet. I've seen some of the stuff. Some of the common core stuff makes sense. Some other ones I'm like, that's I mean it's good for learning as a concept, but it's not practical.
It depends. Like what Common Core is supposed to do is give you all of the tools and let you pick the one that works for you. You do have to learn
Hmm.
all the tools, but they don't make you forever
That's
to do
good.
every single way. It's like whichever way clicks for your brain.
Hmm. Hmm. That's good because I feel like that should be the way. So, I mean, especially us more on the art side, it's like making a cosplay or me editing photos.
Yeah.
There's no one way for it to work. Like
Yeah.
there's many ways to approach a problem and get your LED lights working. And half time it's not supposed to. I mean, that's like coding, right? Like there's certain times that you're like, this is not working. I don't know why. Or like this is working. I don't know why.
Yeah, I don't know why I like doing it this way, but this is what works for me.
That's even worse.
Yeah.
What about are you working on any new projects?
I don't know what I'm doing. I'm like, I feel like a lot of people my age trying to figure out what to do with my life. So I have small projects I'm working on, like I'm working on Dark Magician Girl, and I'm working on this whole
Is your
like
staff
D&D.
behind you?
That is the staff behind me, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm working on like a potion series for D&D, but I'm also still here figuring out what to do with my career goals as a content creator because it's such a new field
Hmm.
and there's so many ways to take it and internet trends change like every few months. So it's hard to like,
Yeah.
take a direction and I really like everything. So I have small projects, but big project wise, I'm still not sure.
I'm having midlife crisis every year already.
Yeah, likewise. I'm sorry if you can hear the fireworks.
Oh, wait. Why do they say? Wait, why?
I live in a city where fireworks are legal, and I usually hear a couple every night. My cat doesn't even flinch anymore. She's just asleep in the corner.
That should not be a common thing. It's like, what is going on? Just firework,
Kind of wish it wasn't, but
Yeah, unless you live near Disney. How are people living near Disney? Is it annoying for them?
I don't know.
Wonder.
In Whittier, I was a long ways from Disneyland, but man, that carries. It's kind of nice because then you know what time it is. It's like,
Yeah, I feel like it's like a Big Bang. I mean, the clock. But then instead of a clock, it's like, firework. It's 9 p.m. Cool.
How about you? Do you have any like big projects you're working on?
Well, apparently there's a cosplay award show I have to work on now.
Oh, we
You should come aboard to help me on that. That's a big one.
hell yeah.
But I'm doing this vodcasting. Of course, Modern Wong chat is a big thing. I'm actually was talking to Nathan right before this. I might need to restructure it so then they all go on a separate YouTube channel. I want to do more because my main one I want to be focused more on like me, my life, and also photography kind of thing. So it'd be strange to put a lot of this on this. So I'm structuring that a little bit. But as a content creator, I'm really confused. I got my start with cosplay. As a content creator, as an influencer. I know we hate the word influencer, but on the business side, that's how they see us, and that's exactly what we do. We influence people's decision about buying or knowing things. So I understand it. I don't hate it. I understand it. So I don't know where I am. I'm in a weird spot because unlike cosplayer, I am not a person that know in front of the camera. So people don't really know me for me, and most photographers are hidden. Weirdly enough, I feel like I am only the few cosplay photographer out there where people know me as a photographer and they know how I look like. Especially I use my own name.
Really helpful. Everyone should do that. I don't know why they don't.
Because it's just guys just don't like being in front of the camera. They don't like being looked at.
That's why they're not cosplayers, but they should, because then we recognize.
Yeah. So it's weird. So right now I'm starting this streaming too as well. I'm streaming more often. So I don't know what I am. Like even explain to people what I am is already confusing enough. So I need to find a way to rebrand.
It's like our careers, especially as like freelance content creators, change the same way that we do. So, if 10 years ago cosplay is what you're into, because when you're younger, also like you're more drawn to the things you do. It's like tangible stuff. It's like I like going to concerts and I like going to conventions and I like dressing up. But as you get older and it starts to become more about your identity and who you are, you kind of want your career to develop with you or find ways to like incorporate it. Mm-hmm. So I've seen you diversify all the ways you kind of express what you're doing and like open up a little more. And I think that's like a move. I think that's a good way to go about it.
Because like I still have that struggle, right? Every few weeks, I'm like, maybe I should go back to a desk job, like a 9 to 5. But then I remember how much I hated it. And like, I'm so happy creating stuff. I'm definitely not making as much money. I'm definitely do not have more free time. Like I always tell people, being a content creator is not an easy way out. In fact, it is the harder way in.
Yeah.
So
you just trade off your pros and cons. Like I miss the routine and the reliability of a 9 to 5 and the paycheck. It felt a lot less reliant on me. But
and weekends are actually weekends.
Yeah, but I'm much happier doing what I like. So I don't know. But we're gonna figure it out, man.
Yeah, well, hopefully we'll make it work. Like if there's a way I can combine the two, then maybe it'll make more sense. I guess with streaming we have more of a schedule structure now, so it's kind of feel more like, oh, I'm having a regular thing, but it's not a regular paycheck. It's just a regular work thing, but still like have some type of structure. So maybe that's again, we are seeing trend change very differently, especially with COVID-19 is going on, that is restructuring the whole world very differently. So maybe we'll discover a new thing. But I definitely do not have the answer yet.
Mm-mm. No,
So.
it's weird. I feel like one of the things that people don't think about, especially as we create content online for a long time, is that some people age out of platforms and
Mm-hmm.
other types of content consumption.
Are you
And
making TikToks?
I've started to make a couple. It's just a lot of work, so video content in general is hard.
Here's the thing. Like I was seeing all this TikTok, and I'm like, now I remember why those kids are doing it so well and do so many of them, because they don't have to pay bills. They don't have to pay rent.
They sit at
Yeah.
home, they stand in front of that natural light, and they've got time. But
You know how much more creative you are? At least I feel like we're so much more creative when there's no stress and when there's no concern of like, yeah, I could be doing that. I could do all this fun stuff, but I need to work on this so I can pay my bills every single week, every single month. So if I don't have to pay any bills, free food every day, I'll be so creative. You don't even know.
yeah. I don't know.
Because I had that. Yeah.
Interesting to think about too. I think like a big one, especially with the lewd side of content creation, is I think one of the reasons it has a shorter lifespan is that if you build a core group of following, I feel like for the most part they will eventually like move on from consuming that type of content, either get in a relationship or have family. They'll just kind of grow out of feeling the need to consume that type of thing. So you kind of have to either stay up on the trends or
I
constantly.
think it's like a upside down bell curve, right? You know, when you're younger, before relationship, you like really consume that, and then you got a bunch of old guys that really consume those contents. Is that really weird bell thing?
So it's the thing to think about, and same with video content. It's great to have a niche, but also, you know, if that show stops running, or if those people grow up and grow past this type of thing that you're talking about, it's a thing that we have to adjust for. Whereas like insurance, it's like now you're insuring the people who need life insurance suddenly. Usually with some of those standard industries, the audience comes in on its own because they're different life things you need. But for us, we look at what people like. And that also means thinking about your audience.
Now, what about for the creator, the lewd creators? Like, because as you said, there's people that come in and out. But here's the thing, though. There's going to be a person turn 18 every day for both consumer and creators. So for the lewd content creator, in your view, what is their career, like life, like what does that looks like? Like, because I mean, it's still pretty new, to be honest. I feel like, yes, porn industry been around forever, but now we have cut out the middleman, and lots of people are self-creating content. We also, I feel like, but then again, it's our industry, so I don't know if there's actually a huge influx. But in our industry, there's definitely a huge influx of lewd, sexy, sexualization content creators. So, and we haven't really seen even a cosplayer, a non-lewd cosplayer, lewd or not, to do a full life cycle where they started doing lewd, doing more lewd stuff, and then someday they retire. We haven't seen that at all. Like the whole cosplay industry as an industry only developed in the last 10 years. So I wonder, what is the goal or what's the game plan for lewd creators?
I think it depends. Like, obviously, it depends on what you decide to do. There are some, especially more like sex workers, that I know plenty of sex workers that just sometimes do cosplay. They wouldn't consider themselves cosplayers, but then sometimes people are like, that's not cosplay. And it's like, that's not what I said that I do. But with a lot of some sex work, I think it's more about getting a bunch of success in a limited amount of time. So really fucking making bank for a little while before you kind of lose that popularity, especially in the porn industry. The people I know who do that, it's like, if you become a well-known porn actress or actor, you have a few years to really cash in on that, and cash in like smart and hard on it, because it's not going to last forever. It's just kind of how it is. But there are plenty of people, I think, that do it in a way that's more unique. Like, I love that Jess does more like meme style lewds, if that makes sense. Like, she's following a trend and she's aware of people's interests, and she stays interested in things. So she's doing it from an aspect that will probably have much more longevity. And then I think there are people that are...
So here's the thing, right? There's a lot of... so for an old school cosplayer that also start doing lewd stuff, they beforehand, I feel like they have built a lot of personality. Like, for example, Jess, I can say this because we know her personally, and I know her for many years. So I'm comfortable enough to say this, that she, and it's not nothing bad anyway, she has always built a personality long before, all this stuff. So people really connect with her and follow her for how she is the person.
Yeah.
Now, if a lot of content creator who just start out doing loot without showing a lot of personality, then I feel like if they stop doing that or they want to transition to something else, it would be very difficult because the followers are not used to them anything other than loot. So like streaming would be very difficult for them.
Well, and that's why I think with those specific types of creators, if you just come in from the loot scene, that's when you need to try and really get your name out there and make it in one go. Like when you hit your stride, make your money then. You know what I mean? Whereas, so that's the short game. The long game would be like what Jess is playing, which is, being a personality, staying on a trend, like having fun, listening to like your audience. And then I think another aspect is like the diverse content creators. So maybe more like Danielle, who streams like she's always been really good at using all the social media platforms and part of what she does. And that's definitely more the angle that I enjoy also. Like I want to be able to create, I want to be able to stream, I want to have loots on the side because that's an aspect of my personality, but it's not necessarily the crux of my like career enjoyment, I guess. I think there are also like a lot of we're seeing a diversity in what loot is too, which I think is dope. Because one of my favorite like lewd creators is Jenna, who does it in such a unique way. It is in such a like, I feel like teasing anime waifu sort of way where she'd be fully clothed, but like grabbing her thighs. And it's such a like, I think clear understanding of what intimacy is and what is being said without giving it all away in some aspect. There's been a lot more creativity in the lewd scene in that way, I guess.
I think that has to do with I mean, yeah, if it's just because like we talk about this before too, and you can find nude photos, sexy photos, straight up porn on the internet easily. So how do you keep finding people? How do you have people keep engaging and then also want specific content? I think that's where it has to come with understanding the audience and how to create that demand, I guess.
Understanding a niche also, things like the, financial like I feel like the findom stuff. Has been really interesting. And so has, I've never really been particularly attracted to this particular fetish, but Little and Big. Little and Big is a popular one too. And if you look at little like lewd content, it doesn't seem lewd at all. Like it's usually that cute little like kind of babyish outfits, but it is very much lewd to their audience, and the people who are doing it well really understand that.
Dude, findom is such an interesting thing. Like, man, it takes really specific type of like a personality to do it.
Yeah, it takes a really specific set of circumstances, especially like generally having a good chunk of money. But
it's hard. Like I feel like even some people that I know are super attractive were not able to do it because it's just like it feels so weird. It's the same thing as like telling an introvert to go like, hey, go say hi to a random stranger. Like it just make them like, ugh.
Yeah. But I don't know. I mean, the lewd side of things is as diverse as anything else, I guess. And understanding especially what you want and how you want to be interacted with is an important part of that. So long game.
Do you think cosplay gonna get more lewd from this point on, so it's gonna be like more diversified, or gonna be like what is this gonna be like? Where do you see the cosplay industry going?
I think that it's going to diversify. Like I'm always going to think of it in a similar way as the acting field. So I think you're just going to see it get really diverse. So it's going to be people focus on cons, people focus on TikTok, people focus on YouTube, people focus on lewds, people focus on like epic modeling. I think that we're going to see it become so big that it diversifies into smaller subsects that people talk about more so. But I don't know.
Actually, earlier I was thinking too, like, if we do a cosplay award show kind of thing, I feel like something about TikTok would be an interesting part too. Like I don't know what it is, but it has to do like video content. Also Disney. Have you heard that like they got a new CEO? TikTok got a new CEO from Disney.
Yeah, that was like, I just don't understand if they were poached from Disney or not, because people keep being like, oh, now TikTok's gonna be like really Disney friendly. It's like,
No.
Unless they have a deal with Disney, I don't see how that's going to happen.
No,
It
no,
seems
they don't even have.
like,
It's not really a deal with Disney. It's more like they stole a guy from them.
yeah, exactly. So I was like, I feel like if anything, Disney is going to be fucking pissed, but
Yeah.
but I don't know.
Yeah. So
Um,
I
I don't
tried
know.
it.
I don't know as much about TikTok yet. Like, I really only stand the cosplay like transformation video stuff. I know Ravenclaw, I don't get it. Besides the like really, really technical part of it.
No,
But
I
yeah,
have many
I'm
talks with
excited
them.
to see where cosplay ends up and like all of the ways that we talk about different roles in it, I guess.
I feel like maybe in another 5 years or 10, hopefully 5, I can
Oh really? I
write
think
at
we
least.
should.
I should write a book about it.
Yeah, I think it'll be more than that. I don't know, like Patreon forever changed the face of cosplay by giving creators a way to make money on their own easily.
Mhm.
And, with OnlyFans, I can't imagine what's next. Probably a video format of both of those things.
I think the
Um,
next way is gonna be more on personalized content creations. So like really brand. So cosplay is always about you. Most of the time, it's about people cosplaying into a character, right? So I feel like the next stage is gonna be people creating a character themselves,
oh,
and
yeah,
that's
like a lot of OCs.
yeah, kind of. So, for example, in the streaming world, right, originally we see lots of people playing games and stuff like that, but in the last recent years, it's become more popular. Is that like people create a certain character, like Doctor Disrespect or something like that, which is
Mhm.
someone playing as a character that's playing games.
Yeah.
So I would even say Jess is a type of that kind of personality and creation. She created Jessica Negri as a look, as a pose. Like even in most cases, you see Jess cosplay as Jess cosplaying a character instead
Yeah.
of like complete looks like
I think that has like a little more to do with how she's developed her brand than like
mhm.
creating a character like Dr. Disrespect. I could totally see a lot more of
Oh yeah,
that.
no, I'm not saying she's exactly like that, but I'm just saying that could, but that is
Yeah,
gonna
I
closer
think,
to what it is. Might be the next stage.
yeah, I think Dr. Disrespect is a great example. It's kind of like the Hatsune Miku, just like somebody created
Hmm.
an influencer, and there's an influencer behind that, but like
But
it's
yeah,
also its own separate thing. So Dr. Disrespect can like just fucking go home at the end of the day. You know
yeah,
what I mean? Which is
hmm
like nice. I do think also OC content is becoming really popular because TikTok kids love that shit. OC demons, OC elves, OC pirates, like
hmm
people coming up with their own concepts for stuff is really cool.
hmm
But I guess I'm thinking more of like because all of that stuff will kind of dither out eventually if there isn't a way to make an income from it and build a career or a life around it.
hmm
So trying to think of what is next after Patreon and OnlyFans, I feel like
Well,
a monetized video platform.
because with that, what I'm thinking is that then they can sell different type of merch, right? Because print was something that people were really popular about it at that point. But then next thing is about that kind of personality created characters. Then they can start selling personalized merch, and we already see some of them already, like stickers and stuff like that. But then I can see like figurines, or like then they can have brand deals, because that's a problem with companies couldn't work with cosplay right now. Is that if I'm hiring, for example, even UX, for example, but if you're cosplaying a Disney character, it'd be weird for them to have you cosplay as a Disney character and hire you for like a Verizon deal or something, for example, because then they have to go through Disney, and then Disney gonna say no for sure. So it's gonna be like they can't really hire a cosplayer and make cosplay into a bigger thing. But if cosplayer have their own OC, then it's more contact and hireable.
Yeah, because it's easier to have like a thing that they can just bring them in as already. Because most of what I see for companies
Mhm.
getting around that is like, you know, like, oh, I'm a computer company, like Razer or something. Danielle did something. Was that Razer? Or I know Stella did something with a gaming company before too. Where
They all through me, so yes,
oh yeah, but
it's
like
Acer.
where you make an OC built around that company, I think is the
Yeah,
most clever way to do that. That's the best for the brand. But I could see something where it's like, oh,
because that was my idea.
it's like Verizon. But I could also see creators of that being like, I don't necessarily want to associate my OC with this brand.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? So I mean, like that's a little more complicated. And the other thing about brand deals is it still does not put the creator in control. And that's where these platforms are taking off, though, is like Patreon gives the creator the control, OnlyFans gives the creator the control. YouTube still doesn't give the creator control over that. Like you can't set tiers, you can't charge your fans directly.
Hmm.
And same with Twitch. Twitch is a little bit better. It's at least more transparent about it. but I feel like
Mm.
some type of video platform that gives creators access to charge their fans directly is going to be the next like important milestone.
How is that different than, let's say, OnlyFans? Like, what kind of like you think about like a TikTok style, but then it charge people if they, let's
Not
say,
necessarily TikTok style. I feel like it'd probably be more like a blend of TikTok and YouTube.
so it's like they make YouTube content. So it's kind of like YouTube Red. Oh no, because YouTube Red is all of them, but it's more like per
Yeah.
content creator, and then they create video content.
It's just like a little more like OnlyFans or Patreon, but I mean, OnlyFans obviously has more of a stigma of sex work or like
Mhm.
adult content in general, or lewd work, whatever. Whereas Patreon is a little more diversified now. I think it started that way, and then it became more diverse, which is great. But
Mhm.
video is a difficult thing to consume in the same way, especially off of your mobile device. But TikTok is built around using other types of audio. The audio like system of that is difficult. So literally doing something that's just creators having complete control over videos that they charge like their fans to see, I think would be a big addition to the community. It might be the only thing that takes down things like YouTube and TikTok.
I feel
But
like YouTube need to try to jump on it while they can, but then it might make them
There's
weird
nothing would.
platform.
they
Yeah.
do have a subscription option.
They have YouTube Red.
I don't think that most people know about it and
No.
don't like using it.
Because they're so used to YouTube being a free platform, it makes them feel weird about. Because like we used to because other companies, let's say, they come out already as a subscription format. So Disney Plus or Hulu, and well, not Hulu, but Disney Plus and Netflix. You know, you used to paying monthly, and then you see all the contents on it. So it'd be weird for someone who's like regular on YouTube. It's like, I'm gonna pay for something I'm used to for free. That like, even though you or better content and like maybe more, but
Yeah,
they just
well,
not used to that.
I think that's where YouTube's vulnerable, is that it's free. As if a company comes along and gives video creators the opportunity to do something like Patreon, YouTube has already built up these creators as their own huge empires. If that creator leaves to a to a platform where they can make their own money more directly, YouTube's kind of screwed.
I wonder if they can, because like Ninja, I feel like is having problem going from Twitch to Mixer.
That's
Like-
because it's still not a platform where he's making. It's still
Yeah.
with another brand.
But if
So-
anything, it's good for him. It's just not good for Mixer. That's all. I feel like he got a better end of the deal there.
I think that YouTube would be fine, but it's something that would change the face of YouTube, I think, substantially.
Yeah. I mean, I thought about this too before. Is if there is because me as a photographer, I'm thinking like if there's a platform that's great for a photographer that they could monetize on it, that'd be great. But I don't know how that structure would be like and how does it make sense. Because YouTube, at least you watch ad, like a 5-second ad before a video, makes sense. But photos, I don't see that's a certain way, other than if people start making the photos has to be at least 5 photos and one of them gonna be an ad in the middle. That's the only way I can see it working. But still,
I think especially because the photography process on its own already has a professional place. So whereas these YouTubers that make their own video and produce their own content, there isn't a version of that. But for photography, photographers that are hired, to my knowledge, a lot of the time they take the pictures and edit the pictures themselves and then charge a company for it. So that's its own complete process that already exists as a professional field. Combining photography with influencing work would maybe be its own thing, but that's probably
it's such a weird space.
That's probably why it has such a weird.
Yeah. All the photographer YouTuber I watch are all just it's fake. It's not fake. It's a personality channel that's disguised as an educational channel.
Yeah.
No,
Sometimes those that are interesting to watch that aren't just like educational based for sure.
That's what mine's kind of is like, you know. Like, yeah, I'll teach you a few things, but let me show something cool that I like as a personality. But
yeah. It's like
anyway,
about it.
We should brainstorm more. Like when this is over or whenever, let's just go grab a bunch of alcohol and then we'll drink till we're red. We'll drink till we're red.
Ready.
We're just gonna take us like 5 seconds. No, someone I forget who came on my stream yesterday. They must have just finished watching yours and then came over and then they were talking about the same thing about Asian Glow. Were you talking about Asian Glow yesterday?
Not yesterday. What?
Okay.
I don't know. I talked for like 4 hours, so it's a little hard to keep track of. I don't think I was talking about it yesterday, but Stella might have been.
Oh, Stella had too, because like on Friday we were playing League, and we're drinking while playing League on stream.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, but no, I shared the story yesterday too about how we got really drunk at KasuCon once because we tried Pepsi.
Oh yeah, I told so many people don't know that about Pepsi. I'm like, let me tell you about me, David Martin, trying out Pepsi.
So many people don't even know about Asian Glow,
which is weird. Yeah.
Yeah,
I feel like
such a
you gotta tell people that. A lot of people didn't know I was half Asian, especially when my hair was white. Now that my hair is purple, everyone suddenly can tell that I'm Asian, and I was like, that's kind of weird.
Because you have the Asian stereotype, the color hair. I mean, unless it's your full hair, but you have one strip, you'll fit the Hollywood type.
Always like this shade of purple too, like one streak of like purple hair.
Yeah, like Big Hero, even Lego. Like
yeah,
one
but actually,
strip.
My dad's the white one, so he's also allergic to alcohol. So both of my parents actually get alcohol glow. Just only one of them is Asian.
So yeah, I get super red. But I think I might actually drink some tonight. I'm gonna edit videos or photos while drinking.
I'm gonna play Stellaris. I've been playing a bunch of like RTS games lately.
Wait, which game?
Stellaris. It's like the Galactic 4X like RTS game.
Oh, never tried it.
You ever feel like the world is whack, and so you need to go into a game and try and control the economy and the politics? Because that's what I'm getting out of this.
So that sounds fun.
I need the steering wheel right now. Yeah. Asian Glow. Right. Oh, I guess we were talking about it last week. And
yeah.
Thanks, Tommy.
All right. Well, where can people find you?
You can find me on every social media platform you can think of as HendoArt, except Facebook, which is HendoArt Cosplay, but I don't use it. So
nobody uses it anymore.
On Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, Twitch, whatever.
Awesome.
Fuck, TikTok.
Is it also HendoArt on TikTok?
Yes, the only place where I also have my lewd persona on Instagram and OnlyFans is Ludo Art, because I'm becoming more family friendly. I'm trying to get away with as much as I can as an adult woman.
Such a strange world. Like, but did I tell you? I think I did, right? How I pissed off Reagan on purpose with the whole.
What'd you do?
The TikTok thing. No, the TikTok thing.
Oh, what'd you do? Oh, what?
Wait, what? No, because she was trying to grow her TikTok. I'm sure it's much bigger than mine, but like she was trying to grow her TikTok like last year. She was saying that, so she was just starting out, right? So just sharing this fun story. I hope she's not watching, but I'm sure. I mean, she knows this already, but sharing it would be funny too. But yeah, I was. She was saying that she wanted to get, trying to grow more in TikTok. It's like, okay, cool. So I went to TikTok and talked to them so I can get myself verified.
Oh yeah.
So yeah. So a month later, I was like, "Hey, Reagan, I got something to show you." And she was so mad.
A check mark. That is so fucked up. How dare you?
That is such a Martin Wong thing to do, though.
What a flex! I know. Just like when you went up on that whiteboard and did the math better than all the American kids.
Yeah, I did it because I can, not because I wanted to. So yeah, I don't want it, but you want it. I'm taking it.
Just flexing. I love it.
All right. Well, thank you so much, everyone, for watching. And of course, Hendo, thanks for joining. You can, again, watch this on YouTube. Actually, this is going to change very fast because I might do it tonight. I'm going to have a separate channel for my Modern Wong chat stuff. Just so I can separate the content a little bit. But you could still listen to this on podcasts. So on iTunes, on Spotify, everywhere else that have major podcast platforms. And of course, find us on Instagram, Twitter, all kinds of good stuff. Oh, speaking of Twitter. Dude, update your Twitter name.
Mine?
Yeah, it still says HendoArt C2E2.
Oh. Okay.
Because I was tagging you the last 2 days. I was like, HendoArt's like C2E2. It's like, wait, first of all, when is that con going on? It's like, it's totally over and stuff like that. Oh, I actually forgot to tag you earlier on my on that post. But yeah, but like, come on, man. Like C2E2. Like I thought it's going on.
They're open right now. I will also say personal opinion on the YouTube stuff. I would keep everything you do on one channel and focus on making playlists. I
did that, but here's the thing though. So I have a long talk with Nathan earlier about this too, right before we start the show. Is that if I do a playlist, I will have to make, because the problem is that if you go to the video tab on my channel, now it's a lot more Modern Wong chat than my regular content, because I do this show 3 times a week, but I'm definitely not producing 3 times the content on my normal stuff.
Yeah,
so
but
see a bunch of them.
So on your main page, you can change what the rows of things are.
So I do have those. So I
Yeah.
think what I'm going to do, however, but the problem is that we thought about this also so well too, right? Because I don't want my list of videos to be a bunch of like all this Modern Wong chats and then random like cosplay and photo shoot stuff, which is what Modern Wong photo should be.
Yeah.
So I will still do like a highlight video, like a highlights of all 3 guests from the week posted on my Modern Wong photo, my main one. And start another one, which is just all the full episode where people are going to watch it in there. Because if I put them as unlisted, they're not even searchable. So it's kind of like a thing.
I would say I personally prefer to see everything from one creator that I like all in one place.
I thought so too.
More so of a diverse, like educational content, chat, like you really want it to be separate. But I feel like you benefit more as a content creator, showing that you do it all. Whenever I look at somebody's channel, I stay either on their homepage and look at their most popular videos, or I go to their playlist and see what types of content.
But that's the thing, like exactly, like but for my video one, I feel like the other one will get lost. I put lots of thinking into this recently too, just to see what I think. But I feel like it's so different because people who watch and listen to podcasts are different type of audience of the other content, and they really want to follow you for certain things than the other things. Like even me and my photography. My people who like me for my portrait stuff are very different than people who like me for my cosplay stuff, even though they're both photography.
Yeah, but you also like will expose them to all the different things you do.
So I will have some crossover here and there. Like I will still post the highlights on my main one and to kind of edit it and say, hey guys, you like this over here? I mean, same for you with your loot stuff, you know.
Yes, but those are separate for substantially different reasons. Like I've thought about having a separate channel for my D&D stuff, but it's also like you grow a channel, especially on YouTube, the more content you produce. So having all of the content in one place will help expose like an audience to you, because if they like one type of thing you do, it'll try and suggest more of other things that like you do along with some of the same. So just based on talking to other YouTubers who also either tried to diversify, the only people I know who have really done that are people whose video like channels have gotten over like 1 million.
Huge big people,
We're not there yet, but I would say that's just something to consider. Definitely for creators that I follow, I prefer to see it all in one place. I never look at the videos tab. That tab is garbage. It's just all their videos.
Really, I feel like that's what I do.
Tab.
Because I don't know other people do playlists as well. So we'll see. I'm just gonna ask some of my viewers to see what's their game plan is, and then go from there.
Ask them and ask more YouTubers too, like a diverse YouTuber.
Yeah. All right, well, stay here because I want to talk to you a bit more. But for everyone else that's watching, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you all next time. And I'll be here tomorrow too. So tomorrow, 7 p.m., we're talking to... I'm not sure if you met him before, actually. Afto Rogers. He's a photographer on the East Coast. Very cool guy. You might have met him at KatsuCon. But anyway, I'll see you all tomorrow. And have a great night, guys. Bye.